You have been on the field, I only say that. And would you say that Nigerians are adhering to the adversaries? Because, you know, this pandemic started, even when we had few cases and few deaths, I see some level of seriousness, but now we have tens of thousands of people infected and hundreds of people dead. But you know, when you move around, people are still acting carelessly. There's a ban on interstate travel. People are hiding and sneaking, you know, from one state to the other. Some people don't even believe that there's COVID-19. What would you say? Have we done enough to sensitize the people, or is it that our people are refusing to adhere and do the right things?
I fight against COVID-19 in Nigeria based on my my participation in the FCT ministerial team. And it is rather unfortunate that we haven't gotten where we want to go regarding this pandemic and stopping its spread. Right now, we are more than 12,000 infected in the country. And when you bring up the issue, you hear things like, why should I maintain social distance? We're Africans. We're meant to behave this way. We are meant to be, you know, we believe in communal life. Why should I wear face mask? I know of the consequences of wearing face masks. You hear such dumb, you know, excuses that people are giving. Oh, sanitize your hands. Oh, these Oyibo people, they have come. It is not our disease. Oh, the heat in Nigeria is already killing. These are all wrong postulations people are making. For God's sakes, COVID-19 is real. People have died of it. People, highly placed people have died of it. Lowly placed people have died of it. Our colleagues have been infected, even in the media. And thank God they came out of it. Some are still undergoing treatment. It is wrong for anybody to sit somewhere and say it is not an African disease. It is wrong. You know, in the campaigns, you will hear people telling you that it is a scam by government to eat money. For God's sakes, if governments are using it to eat money, it's their business. But we know that this disease is real. And I learned from this COVID awareness campaign that I was involved. It now showed me that we like blaming our leaders, the government, for everything. But with COVID-19, that everybody was supposed to take responsibility, you hear the followers now blaming the leaders. Take responsibility, wash your hands on your own, stay at home. You will see people arguing with police on the roads why they cannot stay at home. Even when that time, when the lockdown was, it was crucial to shut down the country. People were still going out, doing nothing, arguing with police on the road. So that mentality of being disorganized, that mentality of not obeying simple instructions, we must come out of it as a country if we want to make progress. Not being orderly. You go into a shop, a supermarket or chemist, you see people even in this time of social distancing. And when you remind them, they say, hey, madam, leave this thing. Educated people. So it's not about education. It's about our people rising to the occasion to know that we are in very dangerous times that require very severe measures. And those measures mean we must obey what we are being told by the NCDC, by the World Health Organization, and by our local health officials. We must still avoid crowded places because people now are doing things the way they are like. And it means the community spread thing will keep increasing. Going everywhere, touching surfaces anyhow, not maintaining social distance, not wearing face masks, and the likes. So our appeal is that people should know that it's not yet over. Because lockdown has been eased doesn't mean COVID-19 virus has also eased itself. It is still there, and so let's take precautions.
The schools will be opened for children to go back. what kind of support, what do you expect, what measures do you think should be on ground to ensure that the lives of the children will be saved as well as their own their teachers?
We are crying that the children are losing on their academics, in as much as we want them to catch up. You know, children are delicate beings. We cannot just let them like that, you know, ease everywhere, and then it is dangerous. That is why I am in support of the fact that children are still at home. But whenever the schools are thrown open, parents must make conscious efforts to kit their children properly, talk to them at home about all the precautionary measures, enlighten them, create that awareness, mother to child, one-on-one, so that they will know that they are not in the normal times that they used to know before the lockdown. Playing in the garden now or in the park is no more. This thing might be until 2021 ending. So those are some of the basic instructions that parents should take it upon themselves. I hear them talking on Facebook here and there, when we school open, oh, we are tired of these children. Please, COVID-19 is a lesson for all that we must play our parts as children. If we were not doing it before, now they were with us for all this length of months, doing nothing at home. Our responsibility to take care of them, isn't it? So let's stop pushing everything to the teachers. Parents must take the responsibility to teach their children about COVID-19, about what is expected of them when school resumes. Then, the school authorities. Some of these private schools, it's all about making money. See, it is now time for them to pay back all the money they've been collecting. Make sure their schools are now positioned in such a way, and that's for also public schools, that social distancing is maintained. Overcrowding a classroom is over. And I hope that education authorities and the health authorities will first go to these schools to make sure that they check that the schools are going to operate in line with the guidelines that have been put in place for social distancing. Guidelines of face mask as well as hand washing and sanitizing.
Before I go, let me just ask you about your organization. What's the future? What are you doing right now? I know you have been working on women and children issues for a lot. So tell me a little about your organization, you know, the future and what we expect. How will your organization better the lives of Nigerian women and children?
Yeah, the Initiative for Women's Accelerated Development Program, the acronym is INWARD. You know, though I've been long in the gender struggle, yes, but it was only in 2015 that I came up with that NGO. A group of friends of like minds came together and said, you see, if we really want to continue with this struggle, let's have a structure, let's have an established body. And we came together. And since then, we've been intervening in the little we can do in areas of awareness, in areas of capacity building for women. We've worked with IDPs concerning their health. With our declaration yesterday from our national Zoom conference webinar, we are coming out in full force. Like I mentioned in this interview, COVID-19 has thrown up a lot of issues. It's no more time to sit and be a bystander. It's time for action. And INWARD is going to be, from now you'll be seeing INWARD in the forefront of pushing more for women's rights, pushing more for women's inclusiveness in governance, pushing more for the economic empowerment of Nigerian women, to ensure that we get a better deal from this country that we call our own as Nigerians. And so that is our promise, and that we'll get all the cooperation and all the funding that we'll need, because it's an enormous work and huge work that requires a lot of funding, a lot of resources and the likes. And again, we are targeting right now girls, So you'll be seeing us forming vanguard in schools on how girls will protect themselves. We have gotten to that stage. So there was going to be a lot of education on gender-based violence, on how girls should protect themselves.
I'd like to thank you. And on that note, we end today's discussion on the effects of COVID-19 on families, women, and children. My guest has been a reputable advocate for women and children in Nigeria. Like I told you, she has accomplished so much that we cannot even begin to name in this interview. Thank you very much. We'll see you again.